Top of the morning, Sonoma County, to all you manly men out there, hearty and healthy Irish. Hello, you're listening to the Celtic Coach radio show, an Irish talk show for men. Yes, and even all those manly men out there. And welcome to all the ladies listening as well. You're listening on KOWS LP 92.5 FM if you're strolling around in your car, or if you're flying around the galaxy in your spaceship or an identified flying object. Well, just tune in to 92.5, and all the ETs out there just get a blast of some science, some spirituality, and some self-development to soothe the soul and to get you going into the new year. If you guys up there follow that type of thing. All right, welcome everyone. We got a great show for you. The Celtic Coach here with a show about being organized, an Irishman's guide to being organized. How do we get organized? Now it's the holidays coming up, and the holidays never end. There's always a holiday around the corner. It's kind of like a bus. They just keep coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. Oh, yes. And so how do we get organized? Now, this is not just for Christmas. This show today is dedicated, if you're a type of person that is in some way disorganized, if you're the type of person that leaves everything till the last moment and then you kind of, as quickly as you possible, throw everything in a bag and try to get organized. If you're the type of person, and I'm not typecasting by the way, but if you're the type of person that seems to just constantly be trying to keep your head above the water instead of enjoying the swim. You know what I mean? If you're the type of the person that keeps getting knocked off the wave and has no time to actually surf and play and have fun, then this show is for you and 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 you. All right, now we on the show today, I'm going to be talking a lot about really making the best use of your time. How do we make the best use of our time? I'm also going to be sharing, I'm a professional life coach. I'm also a trainer of life coaches at a very distinguished college, I have to say. And I also do a lot of talks and workshops and different things on self-development, on the science and the art of living. And I throw in lots of, spirituality and different things in there. And one of the things that men come to me in coaching with, I had a client a few months ago, came in, and professional musician, and didn't have enough time to write more songs. And so we sat down, and I had him do like this bit of a time management thing where he just mapped the time that he was using for the week. And would you believe it, 18 hours a week of his time was spent in front of the box. Yes, sitting on a box, looking at the box, having his dinner from a box, driving to work on the box, driving home in his box, living in his box, sleeping in his box, and everything in between. And then at the end of our lives, they put us in a box. But you get the idea. We're talking about boxes. As men, we think in boxes. As men, we think in, we have compartments of boxes in our brains, where women kind of have this whole kind of cybernetic cyberspace where just everything kind of goes in and it all seems to be like the universe and it fits together. Sometimes nicely, sometimes not. So we're going to be talking, I'm going to share with you today some really valuable life coaching stuff that I use with my clients, that I have a high impact with my clients, called the 4 planning questions. I'm also going to be looking at how to make the best use of your time. And then on the last part of the show, you want to stick around for this, it being only a 1-hour show, but you want to stick around. We're going to talk about energy leaks. Now, a lot of people, when I talk to them about energy leaks, they go, oh yeah, Dermot, energy leaks. Okay, that's like the Qigong, Chai, spiritual, No, I'm not talking about that. Although that's all wonderful stuff, and I talk about that stuff in future episodes. But today is going to be about getting the energy leaks, especially coming up to the new year. This is a perfect time now to start working on the energy leaks. And I'm talking about inner, but I'm also more so talking about the outer. The things around your house that are cluttered, things that are not moving, the things around your house that are taking up space and they don't need to be, right? As the man says, I have a plan, but a plan without action is just a wishy-washy wish. So we're going to be talking about that. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Dermot, how do I know that I'm disorganized? You might be thinking that. Well, I've come up with a few things to help you to see if you are truly not organized, because maybe you are organized and maybe you don't need to listen to this show at all. But in the advent, or in the case that you're that you think you might be disorganized, but you're not sure, I'm going to share with you some ways to know if you're disorganized or not. Now, here it is. Look, if you got a pile of papers at home on your desk, and the stuff on the top is for now, and the stuff on the bottom is for much later, then you might be disorganized. If you've got a thing, if you've got a things to do later list and a things I'll never do list, you might be disorganized. If the only tool that you have to get organized is a shoebox, you're in trouble. If your motto for being organized is just hide it, you might be disorganized. If spending 10 hours on Facebook doesn't belong on your to-do list, forget the if there. It's just, if you're spending 10 hours on Facebook, that doesn't belong on your to-do list. If you're praying for someone to break into your house and organize it, you may be disorganized. If you say, I keep the house messy to deter burglars, could be a problem. If you know where everything is in your office, but it takes you about a week to find it, we're going to have to talk. If you are never too busy to stop and complain about how busy you are to all the other people who are trying to get stuff done, good chance you're disorganized. Men, if you think washing a cup is cleaning the whole house, no. We'll have to talk. And here's the number one way if you want to know if you're disorganized or not. If you think organized people are just too damn lazy to spend hours and hours looking for stuff that may or may not be in that pile, then there's a really good chance that you may be disorganized, and this show is for you. All right, let's jump in. Let's jump in with the show. But before all that, let's take a little 10-second break here and play a little bit of the old Irish music here. Welcome to the show, everyone. We're here on KOWS.FM, that's on the web, and 92.5 FM, F for Frank, M for Matilda, every Friday from 1 to 3. Interviews from 1:30 to 2:30, and we play the best in Irish music. So welcome to the show, everyone. All right, we're talking today about an Irishman's guide to being organized. How do we get organized? Not just for the holidays coming up, but how do we get organized in our life? Now, there's 20,000 shows that I could do on getting organized. What I've done is I've taken some of the best stuff from, I train life coaches online, so I took some stuff from that, and also just some stuff that I share with men, or that I found out throughout the years to be really beneficial in helping men, and all the ladies out there, to be more organized in their lives. Because look, it's not an easy world out there. It's by no means an easy world out there. A lot of people, places, and things are trying to get our attention between ads and TV and on the radio and on YouTube, and you name it, it's out there. And everything is trying to get a little piece of our time. And if there's anything that's more sacred in this world, and I do mean sacred, it has to be time. There's no question about it. It has to be the most sacred, most just valuable thing in the universe, and in your universe of time. So you've heard the old quote that people don't plan to fail, right? They fail to plan. Ha ha, that sounds great, Dermot. Tell us more, old Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, it's very true, actually. I mean, as kind of cliche as it sounds, people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. Now, I have a lot of guys in my coaching, and they come to me and they're stressed, they're overworked, their lives are out of balance, and they come to me and they want to know, Dermot, I can't do it all. I can't seem to do it all. And for a very good reason. We're not meant to do it all. We were never built as human beings to do it all. That's why we're called human beings and not human doings. Ha ha, great, Dermot. Keep it coming. I'm here all alone. That's why the jokes sound funny. Maybe they sound funny out there, I don't know. But in here, they're hilarious. So, here's the thing, everyone. We weren't built to do everything ourselves. And now, the world is a whole lot different than it was 50 years ago, even 20 years ago. God, I remember back in the 90s when they had colored monitors and, big computers with colored lights in the back and what have you. And now there's paper thin as a credit card, You can slip them in your back pocket, for God's sake. And in that time, in that space of time that's changed, a lot has changed in terms of our time. Now, we were told that, cell phones and iPads and iPods and iPhones and iToasters and iWatches and eye earrings and what have you. Did I forget anything? I'm sure there's more eyes things out there. We were told that they would help us to have better use of our time. We were told that they would help us to have more time. But have you noticed that we actually have less time than we did 15, 20 years ago? A lot less. Now, I love technology, don't get me wrong. I use technology in my life for everything, and I love it. Beautiful. I have my office in my house. I can do everything. I can do my full business from my house. It's wonderful. I'm not knocking technology. But what I'm saying is that if you allow technology to take your time, then you will spend a vast amount of your time on stuff that's maybe not that important. So we've got to start looking at, all right, how do we want to use our time? Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is making time to plan. Now, notice I didn't say having time to plan, Dermot, or, when I've got time, Dermot, I'll do that, because I hear men say that all the time to me in coaching, and I just laugh, because it's never about creating time. It's never about having time. It's never about when with time. If you look at the word time and you look at it backwards, it means emit, to take out. So going forward, it's about putting in. If the word time backwards is emit, which means to take out, then the word time forward means to put in. In other words, if you don't make time to do stuff, if you don't cut out or carve out a certain space of time to do stuff, then that time will, and this is science, by the way, it says that if you do not use your time, that life will use your time for you. Life will come up with ways, Facebook and YouTube and all these different things, all right? Nothing wrong with them. They're great. They're also great time wasters. But life will come up with ways for your time to slip away. Now, you don't believe me? Think about the last time that you sat down to do a day's work. And if you're in a job that you hate, then, it took a week for you to go through a day. But if you're doing stuff that you like, you enjoy, you love, all right, then time flies. And you wonder, where did the day go? And then you think, okay, how much did I really get done? Oh, I didn't get that much done. If you were to sit down and you were to look at how you spent, even if you were to look at 2 days of how you spent 2 days of your life, and you looked at what you were actually doing for your business, what you are actually doing for your personal life, you would find that it's a lot less than you think it is. Now, I know this because I've done this for myself. I used to think, oh, I'm working so hard on my business. I'm working all the time that God gives me. And then when I sat down and I really looked at how much time I was actually spending on my business, it was not as much time as I think. Now, there's times in life when you got to make time. You got to cut out, carve out. You've got to say, hey, from 1 to 3, I turn off the phone. I turn off, all the pages. Actually, there's no such thing as pages anymore. But I turn off all the gadgets and the gears and the gadgetry that's taking my attention away. I say from 1 to 3, I'm going to work on this piece of the project or whatever it might be. Now, another thing that they found in science is that if you, I was just reading this in a book a couple of weeks ago. I had him on the show here, Steve Chandler. He's got a great book called The Time Warrior. And I had him on the show too, and you can go to thecelticcoach.com and you can listen to that show, Making the Best of Your Life. And we talked a lot about time in that episode. And one of the things in there that really impacted the way I do things was, instead of doing a million different things, you see, life is constantly asking us, pushing us, forcing us at times to do a million things. We've got a million things to do and no time to do it. Right? We've always got too much time at the end of our week, or too much week at the end of our time. Right? And one of the things that he talks about in there that made a huge impact on me, and I've started doing this in my life, is if you carve out 2 hours and you say, in these 2 hours, what's one thing that I need to do that will make the biggest impact on my life? Let me ask you that question again. In coaching, the coaching that I do, it's solution-focused coaching. Questions are the answers. So I'm going to be giving you some questions to really help and support you to make better use of your time and start to use your time more wisely so that you are more organized. Here's the question. What's one thing that if I spend 3, 4, 5 hours today, or maybe the whole day if you have it, depending on how much time you can carve out, not how much time you have, adjusted there, but how much time you can carve out to get something done that would have the greatest impact on your personal life, on your relationship, on your finances, on your job, on your career, whatever it is. You ask that question for any area of your life, which is usually family, friends, relationships, money, career, finances, adventure, fun, holidays, vacation, things like that, right? And you ask yourself, what if I was to spend 2 or 3 hours today? I'm going to carve out 3 hours where just nobody's going to bug me, and I'm going to get this done. Now, later in the show, I'm going to be talking about energy leaks, so we're going to tie all of this together very nicely towards the end of the show. You see, sometimes you do need a plan. Sometimes you got to sit down and you got to write out your plan. I'm going to talk a little bit that later in the show, but what's called the review time. Sometimes you need to do that. But other times, you just need to slow down to the speed of life. You know what stress is? Stress is your mind and your body is going faster than the actual speed of life. Right? Life is going along at 5 miles an hour, mostly. And you're going along at about 55 miles an hour in your Porsche. And life's just kind of plodding along in its Volkswagen Beetle at around 5 miles an hour. It's like the turtle and the rabbit. We're the rabbit and life is the turtle. Right? And that's where our stress comes from. We're constantly in some type of an imagined future. So now, let's come back to what Steve Chandler said, which I really found very helpful. If you can ask yourself, you can carve out 3, 4 hours, even if it's on the weekend, if you've got something that you've been dragging around like a bad habit, something that you know you need to get done because it's taking up so much of your time, and you say to yourself, you know what, tomorrow between 1 and 3, this is getting done, I don't care. And you block that time. You tell everyone in your life, your family, your friends, your kids, the dogs, the cats, you tell everyone, don't come near me between 1 and 3 tomorrow. I've got to get this done. This is a must. This is something that I've been dragging around. It needs to be completed now. Because sometimes we need to plan, but sometimes we just need to breathe, slow down, let go, and see what happens. And other times we need to get up off our Sally noggin and get into gear. A little bit of both needs to happen. So let's recap before we go on to the second part of our show. So make time to plan. People don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. Sometimes, I know, you need to sit down, you need to carve out 3 hours of time. Make time to plan. Now, here's the last piece of this, for this portion. Once a week, I do it on Fridays. I call it my review time. My little lady and everyone in my life, I turn off the phones, everything. And I have 2 hours of uninterrupted time from 4 to 6 on Friday. Every Friday, 4 to 6. It's a habit. I'm there. Nothing gets in the way outside of disease and death. But besides that, I'm there at Friday at 4 o'clock after the show. And I go home and I take out my calendar and I look at all the things that need to get done this week. All right, I have them on a calendar. You can put them on a very simple way to track what you need to do. Is you get a piece of paper, you can get a calendar or a board, whatever it is, and write emails. What emails do I got to do? Calls. What calls do I got to do? My to-do. What have I got to do? Like physically, I got to leave the house and pick up this, fix that, do that, go shopping, pick up the kids, whatever it is. Your to-do stuff, your email stuff, and your calling stuff. Who do I need to call? Separate those three things. I also have research on there. If I get an idea for a show or for something, I have a research on there. You can do that too if you like. But you can put that on a calendar, you can put it on a piece of paper. And on Fridays I sit down for 2 hours and I look at the week ahead and I say, okay, what needs to get done this week? What is the most important things that need to get done this week? And I put the most important things on for Monday morning. Here's a tip for you, everyone. Do your best stuff, the hardest stuff, even though there's no such thing as hard and soft or easy. There's no meter in the universe that says this is hard and this is soft. That's your thinking. Your thinking makes something hard, your thinking makes something easy. But we'll talk about thinking a lot more in the new year. I'm going to be talking a lot more about the science and spirituality of thinking in the new year. All your thoughts. The whole universe is made up of thought, and everything is just thought. And how that relates to your life is a fascinating subject. But more on that later. So sit down on a Friday, either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Not a Monday, because you won't do it. The end of the week, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you sit down and you map out your week. Monday through whatever it is. Monday through Sunday for you or Monday through Friday. I do Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, I do whatever. Unless we're planning something. And just take even an hour. Start with 30 minutes a week. Now you can ask yourself, why would that be important for me to do that? Why would it be important for me to plan out my week? What value would that bring to my life? What impact would that have? Now, coming up here in about a minute, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. We're going to talk about something that has changed my life in ways that I can't express to you, but I'm going to share what it is. Called the 4 planning questions. These are 4 questions that you can use to plan your life. Plan cleaning the car. Plan creating a business. Plan going on a holiday. Plan looking for a new relationship. Plan making an old relationship better. Plan cleaning the house. You can use these questions for anything and everything, a small project or a big project. These are powerful. Stay tuned, everyone. You listen to the Celtic Coach radio show, Irish talk show, just for men. All right, play some happy music. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, everyone. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back, everyone. Listen to the Celtic Coach radio show, an Irish talk show for men on KOWS.FM on the web and 92.5 in your car, flying around the universe You can pick us on the web, or you can also pick us up on your UFO radio at 92.5 FM. All right, we're here every Friday from 1 to 3. Thanks for listening in, everyone. Okay, so we're talking today about the Irishman's Guide to Being Organized. Now, I talked a little bit about making time as opposed to, well, when I get to it, Dermot. Men say that to me all the time in coaching. When I have time, Dermot, I'll get to that. No, you make time. You must make time. Rah, 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 rah. Oh, and by the way, everyone, just so I don't forget him, he's just shown up here in the station. You know that we have the top 11 list every week. That's the top 11 things you absolutely do not need to know. And today, I think it's about being organized. Is it? Yeah. No, it's about the top 11 things you don't need to know about time management. We will have our house leprechaun, yes, Seamus O'Flaherty, that we imported all the way. He now lives with me. An actual leprechaun. He's going to be coming on the show here in about 10 minutes, about 5 after the hour, and he's going to do the top 11 things you don't need to know about time management. All right, let's keep it going here. There was two beggars on the street in Dublin, on Grafton Street on Dublin. And there was two beggars on the street, and they've been there all day with their little basket. And the one lad turns around to the other lad, and he says to him, "Is this really our retirement plan?" Now, isn't it fascinating? Now, that's kind of a joke, but it's kind of not, because I know a lot of people that never planned to retire. They, for some reason, thought that life just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Kind of like in India, ananda, 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 ananda. And they figured that they'd never retire. And then at some point, something happens. It's called life. It happens. And they must retire. And where's the retirement plan? And so I have men that I coach that are, they're in their 70s and 80s and still working. So, which, again, nothing wrong with that. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. But if you want to retire, if you want to really get play, if you want to, get the best out of your life and make the most of your time, then there's 4 questions you got to ask yourself. Now, you can choose to be organized, or you can choose to be disorganized. It's not something that happens to you. People say, "Well, I'm just, Dermot, I'm just disorganized. I'm not really into it." No, that is a choice, no question about it. Now, of course, I'm not bashing being disorganized, because there's a lot of value to being disorganized. One, of course, is that you're always discovering something new, and sometimes it's in your kitchen, sometimes it's in your living room, sometimes it's in the back seat of your car. So disorganized does have its upside, it does have its good side. But for most of us, we like to be organized so that we're not constantly drowning in the sea of life. We're not constantly trying to get our head above the water. We're not constantly trying to just make it through. All right? If you're someone that's just trying to make it through life, then we need to talk. Because that may work short term, but it doesn't work long term. And I can tell you that from my heart to yours, that it doesn't work that way. Now, let me grab some of my green smoothie. Yes, I'm an Irishman. I'm drinking a green smoothie because I want to be healthy. Here we go. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. All right. Here's 4 questions. Very simple questions. You can write them down now. If you're listening in your car, don't try and text, write, and drive the car. Pull over. And you can write them down. They're called, in the business world, they're called the 4 planning questions. They're not something that I made up now. They're something that have been out there for a long time. But I use them in my coaching, and they've been very valuable for men. Especially men. If you're someone who has great ideas, but never seems to take something and put it on the ground and take some action on it and get moving on it. If you're someone that doesn't complete things, you start things and you don't complete them, which was me in my 20s and 30s, by the way. I had all these great ideas, wonderful ideas. Oh my God, I had so many ideas. I was writing them down every day. And that was wonderful. I was writing them down. But that's all I was doing with them. There was nothing else happening with them. And one of the things that really helped me to start to turn that around was these 4 planning questions. Okay, the first planning question. So take a project that you want to do in your life. Just think about one now. Even if you're driving in your car and you're listening to this, you can just think about it as you're driving. All right, but keep your eyes on the road. Don't close your eyes and start visualizing. You know, none of that right now. You can do that later when you get home. The first question, and I think it's absolutely, I think this question is the most important question you could possibly ask yourself. Now, I've primed that one well, but I'm noticing that I'm on the radio, and I need to do a little radio announcement. So now they're thinking, okay, Dermot, that was good, but what's the question? Don't worry about the question. I'm going to give you the question here in about 1 minute, so stay tuned. I'm just going to do a quick station ID, because we got to do that. We're on the show, we're on the radio, this is live. It's important. Stay tuned, we'll be right back in 1 minute. All right, you're listening to the Celtic Coach radio show, an Irish talk show for men and all things manly. If you're listening in on the radio, it's at KOWS LP, KOWS 92.5 on the dial if you're flying around in your car. And if you're in the universe, it's KOWS.FM, F for Frank, M for Matilda. If you want to call into the show, call us at 707-755-9250. We are the voice of West Sonoma County. Yeah, coming to you live from Sonoma County, and if you're listening on YouTube or one of those places, we are just above San Francisco. We're in Sonoma County. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful little spot to be in. I tell you, I really enjoy it. I'm liking this place a lot. All right, welcome everyone back. The Celtic Coach Radio Show, an Irish talk show for men. Here we go. We're talking about the 4 planning questions. The first question that you got to ask yourself. Now, take a project. It can be a small project. It can be a big project. It can be cleaning out the garage. It can be wanting to buy a new car. It can be wanting to move to Jamaica to drink more coconuts. It can be to move to Africa to swim with the crocodiles. Whatever you want to do, whatever project you have, big or small, these are the 4 questions that must be asked in any project. Now, the great thing about it is, even if you want to create a new business, these are great questions to ask. The first one, by far the best question on the planet. What do you want? Now, for all the men who are going, where have I heard that before? Yes, the little lady might say to you, what do you want? We might say to the little lady after half an hour of a conversation that's gone around and around and around and around, sweetie, would you just tell me what you mean, what you want? Please. What do you want? So, let's say that, we'll take it very simply. Let's say that you want to have more finances. Let's say you want to build on your finances, right? Or let's say you want to organize the house. Let's stick with the organization here for a moment, since it is an Irishman's Guide to Being Organized. So let's stick with organization. Say you wanna get more organized in your life. So what do you want, Dermot? I want to be more organized in my life. You get very specific, very clear about what you want. I want to be more organized. And anytime you're answering that question about what do you want, keep it short and simple. You've heard the old KISS, keep it short and simple. It's great, by the way, if you're being organized, just keep it short and simple. But ask yourself, what do you want? Answer yourself. I want to be more organized in my life. You could even get more specific and say, I want the house to be more organized. I want my job to be more organized. I want my car to be more organized. I want my office to be more organized. Whatever it is you want, get very clear and specific and short and sweet. What do you want? The next question that's equally as powerful in these 4 planning questions. Why is it important to you? Dermot, I want to be more organized in my life. Well, why is that important to you? Another way of asking that is, what value would that bring to your life? What impact, if you were to be more organized in your life, what impact would that have on you? What positive value would that bring to your life? What positive benefits would show up in your life if you were more organized? How would that be? Why would that be a great thing to do in your life? How would that change your life? How would that make your life better? It's all the same question. So the first question, what do you want? Second question, get clear about that. Second question, why is that important to you? Now, the third question is, and a lot of times men do not ask themselves this question, and I don't know why. I have a lot of men in coaching that I've never heard of this question, and yet it's so key to what the part of planning, whatever it might be. What do you want? Why is it important? The next question is, how would you know when you've gotten it? How would you know when you've gotten it? So let me take you back to our little example here. So what do you want, Dermot? I want to be more organized in my life. Why do you want it? Why do you want to be more organized? Because I'm drowning in a sea of papers. My office, it looks like a jungle. I can't find anything. There's moss and trees and elephants and chimpanzees. I can't see any of them because there's so much stuff, but I hear them. They're in there in the office, living, breathing. There's communities of them. I wish all I want to do is find my desk. So what do you want? I want to be more organized. Why? Because I want to find my desk. Why? Because I want to be more relaxed in my life. Now, the why question is important to everyone. This is something I forgot to mention. Make sure that the why of it is stated in the positive. So let me give you an example of the negative. So, Dermot, you want to be organized? Why? Because I hate my life. Because I hate being disorganized. Because I don't like not being able to find anything. That's all negative. You want to say it in the positive. Because you can't build on the negative. Well, you can. But why would you want to be more organized and say to yourself something to the effect of, I hate being disorganized? That just attracts more disorganization into your life. You ever notice that? Anytime you diss yourself, right? Which is called dis-ease, by the way. You're dissing the ease that's already in the body. We all do that through our thinking and our thoughts. But more on that later. Why would you want to do that? So whatever it is you want, state it in the positive. I want to be more organized. Why? State it in the positive. Because, you know, Dermot, I have a good life. I want it to be better. I want to be more organized so that I have more time with my kids. I want to be more organized so that I can be more relaxed in my life. I want to be more organized so that I can plan things better. That I can have more value in my life, that I can have more joy in my life. If I was more organized, I'd have more joy, peace, love, whatever it is. Bananas. Now, the third question, as I said, is how would you know you've gotten it? See, what's fascinating is men come to me in coaching and they say to me, Dermot, here's what I want. And I say, why is it important? And then I say to them, well, how would you know that you've gotten that? And they go, what? What? How would I know? Like, yeah. If you were to be more organized in your life, how would you know that you're being more organized? What would be the evidence that you have that lets you know you're being more organized? What would you have in your life, in place in your life? What would you see about your life? What would you be doing in your life? What would you be hearing in your life? What would you be experiencing in your life that lets you know, now I'm organized? powerful, powerful question. How would you know you've gotten it? It's like if I say to if the lady says to me, little lady says to me, Dermot, I'm going to send you on a journey. And I say, okay. I'm going to send you on a journey to the shop, to the supermarket. And by the end of the supermarket, I want you to go down and I want you to get a gluten-free pan of bread and some goat's milk, which we do eat both in our house because I'm lactose intolerant. All right. And then I go there and I say, okay, so how would I know that I've gotten this? How would I know? So what do I want? I got to go to the shop, got to get the milk. Why is it important? Because, well, if I don't do it, then I'm not going to be eating tonight. Slightly negative. And then how would I know I've gotten it? Well, I'd know by leaving the shop. I would look in the brown paper bag and there would be the gluten-free bread and the goat's milk. That's how I know I'd gotten it. So how would you know when you're more organized in life? What would you see? What would you see yourself doing? Oh, I'd see myself relaxing more. I'd see myself with some type of a planner on my wall. Maybe I'd see myself enjoying life more. I would see myself, planning out my weeks and my months, or maybe I'd see myself having more fun while, doing X, Y, and Z. Whatever it is. How would you know that you've gotten it? How would you know that you are experiencing that in your life? And then the fourth question is straightforward. So, how might you begin? Where might you begin? What might be one thing that you could do to be more organized in your life? What's one small step that you could make to be more organized in your life? To create more organization in your life? Well, Dermot, I could clean the desk. Okay, how long is that going to take you? 15 minutes. Okay, so when are you going to do that? I'm going to do it, how about now? Sounds good to me. Sometimes my clients, I ask them, I say to them, what's one thing that you've been putting off, that you need to do, and it would take like 10 minutes to do it? And they say, oh, there's a million things, Dermot. I said, well, what's the most important thing? Say, oh, clean my desk or whatever it might be. Send this email. I haven't sent it. Keep thinking about it. And then I tell them, I say, get off the phone, get it done, and call me back in 10 minutes during the call. Because we spend more time thinking about stuff than we do actually doing it. You ever notice that? There's like something in the corner and all you got to do is put it in the car and drop it off at the Goodwill. Right? And I'm speaking from my own experience because there's 2 boxes in the corner that need to go to Goodwill. And every day I go out the door, I think, oh, I must do that. And every day, oh, today I'll do it. No, I forgot it. Oh, God, I forgot to do it. Oh, shit. And I spend all this time thinking about it, and it would take literally 10 minutes at the most to put it in the car and drive it to the Goodwill. But we don't. We think more about it than we do acting. And action speaks louder than words. If you're a procrastinator, the best thing for procrastinating, it's a little thing called action. Act. On. Act on. Action. Act I on. Act. I'm going to act on. Action. So what's one thing you could do to get more organized? What's one small thing? What's one thing that you know to do in this moment that would help you to be more organized for the holidays or your life in general? What's one small thing? Don't think about it. Okay, think about it. And now go and do it. Four planning questions. What do you want? Why is that important to you? How would you know you've gotten it? And where do you want to begin? How do you want to begin? When do you want to begin? What do you want to begin with? What would be a one small step? What's 2 small steps? Very, very powerful questions, everyone. Write them down. Use them for any process. Teach them to your kids. Teach them to your neighbors. Anyone that will listen. Teach those 4 planning questions. They are so powerful. I use them in every area of my life. When I'm brainstorming a project, I use those 4 questions to do it. All right, we're going to be back with energy leaks. This is a big topic, and this is huge in terms of you taking your life to a whole different level, taking your organizational, I don't even want to say skills, because they're not skills. You don't need a skill to clean your desk. You don't need a skill to take out the trash. You don't need a skill to write down the 4 planning questions and answer them. So now that I think about it, being organized is not really a skill. It's just something you either do or you don't. Being organized is a choice, everyone. Had nothing to do with your skill. Doesn't take much to take out the trash. Although for some men, that's a big deal. Yes. All right. We're going to be back with Seamus O'Flaherty. Seamus, you're gonna come in and do the top 11 list, right? You're here. You might as well do something. But yes, I am now, Dermot. I'll be right with you. I'm doing me Qigong at the second here, but I'll be right over. You're doing your what? Your Qigong? No, Qigong. Every week Seamus is into this. I don't know what it is. Seamus, are all leprechauns like you, to where every week they're doing something weird? Is that a leprechaun thing, or is that a Seamus thing? Oh, well, it's mostly a Seamus thing. Yeah, I figured it was. All right, let's play a little bit of the happy-go-lucky music, and then we're going to be right back with Seamus O'Flaherty and the top 11 list. Top 11 things you absolutely do not need to know about time management. And then we're gonna talk about energy leaks. How do you close up those energy leaks so that you start to really, really enjoy your life and have fun with this thing we called being organized? Be right back, everyone. Stay tuned. James, are you coming? Come on, get your butt over here. I'm coming. Hang on a second, Dermot. Now, sit down there. Just watch those. James, go easy with the chair. Don't break it. Oh, I won't break it. Don't you worry at all. Always giving me some type of grief, aren't you? Seamus, the radio's on, you know. You're live right now. Oh, but Jesus, now, am I? Hello, everyone. How's it going? Sorry there, the Celtic coach giving me a bit of grief, as he always does every week. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't even get paid now to come on this show. I don't get paid. And I'm a leprechaun. And I'm like gold. But I'll tell you what. I have never seen a sight nor hair of any type of gold or coins or silver or bronze or anything else doing this show. I've been doing this show now for 5 years along with him. Anyway, more on that later. All right. Welcome, everyone, now. Seamus O'Flaherty here with the top 11 list. The top 11 things you don't need to know. But we're going to tell you anyway, just for laughs and giggles. You know, the world is way too serious. Let's have a wee bit of a laugh every now and then. Let the hair down. Although Dermot's bald, so he wouldn't be doing those things. Seamus, just get on with it, will you? Oh, I am. I'm getting on with it now. All right. Here you go. Top 11 things you don't need to know about time management. Now, if you need more time, then it's simple. Get a 36-hour wristwatch. Number 10. I once attended a time management seminar. This is true, actually. I did. It was in Dublin. But they didn't let me in because I came late. I didn't like that at all. I didn't think it was good at all. But however. Number 9. I don't have a problem with time management. Ever since I got fired from my job for being late. Sure, I have no job. I have no problem with time. The best cure for procrastination is simple. You can take action. Or, if you're smart like me, you can get somebody to take the action for you. Even better. Now, number 7. If you're going to be 10 minutes late for work, here's what you do. This is what I do when I'm coming on the radio show. Because I'm supposed to be here at 2 o'clock, but I usually come at around 10 after. Here's what you do. Here's what I do when I'm calling up the show. I say, Dermot, I'm going to be 20 minutes late. Now, here's the thing. I know I'm only going to be 10 minutes late. But I tell him I'm going to be 20 minutes late. So when I arrive, I'm actually 10 minutes early. Do you get it? Number 6. No matter how busy I am, I always stop and make time to complain to other people about how busy I am. Yeah, and I'm not alone. I know there's other people that do that too. All right. If you want more time at work, it's really simple. Hire somebody else to procrastinate for you. That way, my dear, you'll get more done. I've done that a few times. Number 4. No amount of time management courses can fix the fact that I don't like my job. Now, I'm not talking about this job. I like this job, even though I don't get paid for it. But I like the Celtic Coach, and I like coming to the radio station. The missus likes it too. All right, number 3. Why is it, now I've often wondered this actually myself, why is it that 5 days at work feels like a blinking year, and 2 days on the weekends feels like a minute? You ever have that? You know, when you're on the weekend, you're having fun, you're there with the wife, and you're partying, and you're surfing, and you're out on the water, flying around on the skis, and before you know it, it's Monday morning, and you're drinking your coffee, and you're looking yourself in the mirror, thinking, "Who's that guy?" Time flies, really flies. Number 2, I wish I had time to read this book on managing my time. Yeah. It's a time management book, but I've no time to read it. Why? Because I don't manage my time well. I don't even know that you can manage your time. Time doesn't even exist, as they say, but however, more on that later. All right. Now, the number 1 thing you absolutely do not need to know, and I mean do not need to know, about time management is this. The best way to get more time is to stay off Facebook, procrastinate even more, move to a planet where there's a 36-hour cycle, have someone steal your TV, train your kids and pets to do more around the house, sleep 2 hours a night, ask your cat to get a job, simply choose to enjoy the moment knowing that the future will take care of itself. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera. Say ra. I'm Seamus O'Flaherty. You're listening to the Celtic Coach radio show here on KOWS.FM every Friday from 1 to 3. And that, my dear listeners, is no Blarney. Very nice, Seamus. Very nice indeed. Very impressive. Thanks very much, Dermot. Now, that was a good one, wasn't it? Yeah, me wife wrote those ones. Did she? That's impressive, Seamus. Oh, yeah, she's impressive. She writes all my stuff. All right, Seamus, move out of the way there now till I get back in here, will you? Watch the microphone, Seamus. Watch the... Seamus, try not to break the seat when you're getting down. Oh, but Jesus, no, I'll break more than the seat if you don't give me a rest. All right, come on over there, Seamus, now. Oh, I'm going. All right, you're good, Seamus. Good job on the show, Seamus. All right. Oh my God! Did everyone heard that? We were, Seamus. The microphone. You left the microphone on. We're on the radio, Seamus. We're meant to be harmonious. We're meant to give people the impression, Seamus, that we work well together. Well, you can forget that, Dermot, because we don't. I know, Seamus, but on the radio, we're meant to give that impression. Oh, forget it, Seamus. You're not. Yeah, He's put his fingers in his ears, so he's not even listening to me. All right, welcome back, everyone. Celtic Coach Radio Show, Irish talk show for men. We're talking today about an Irishman's guide to being organised. All right, so we got about 8 or 9 minutes left in the show, and I've kept the best for last. And everything I've said up until now has been rubbish. No, I'm joking. But I kept the best for last, in the sense. I'm going to have to stand for this because this is good stuff. All right. It's coming up to the new year, and of course, you know, everyone in the new year they set goals and plans and all these things they're going to do, which they do really, really well for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then come February, it's all gone. Now, one of the reasons that people have a hard time with being organised, that they're disorganised, is because they take things that, now think about it from week to week. You have things that you didn't do last week and you take them into this week, and then you don't do them this week and you take them into next week along with the things that you've got to do next week, and then you take those things into the week after that and the week after that and the week after that. I could have kept on going with the week after that, but I ran out of breath. And then at some point you got all these things to do and no time to do it. One of the things that I do on a monthly basis and then on a yearly basis, it's coming up, myself and my little lady are going to be doing it next week actually. The week before Christmas is when we do it. So usually 2 weeks before Christmas is a really good time to do this, 2 to 3 weeks. Take 4 hours, half a day, the weekend, 2 hours, 1 hour a day, 20 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever it is that you can carve out for yourself. And to get a note pen and a pad and walk around your house first, walk into the bedroom, look around the bedroom and discover, if you can see the bed, hopefully you're not that disorganized, joking, just joking, but look around the room and say to yourself, what do I need to complete? Right? Energy leaks. Everyone is walking around with a bucket of life energy, of life force, of lifetime in a bucket. It's got holes in it. And they walk around with that bucket and they fill it up and fill it up and fill it up and fill it up, and the energy keeps coming out of the bucket because they don't plug those leaks. And they wonder where all their time goes. It goes out of your energy bucket. So you got to go around your bedroom, look at all the things that need to be fixed, all the things that need to be completed. Maybe you wanted to hang that picture that's sitting on the ground for 4 months, and you're going to hang it up on the wall. It takes 2 minutes, but you've been looking at it for 4 months. And by the way, this is not a you thing. This is a human thing. We all do this. I do it. I've got stuff at home. This is not a judgmental thing. This is not about going around your house and beating yourself up for all the things you're not doing. This is about going around each room in your house and looking at, hey, what's not completed here? You can also ask yourself, hey, what's one thing that I wanted to do here? You know, I wanted to put in a new bed, or I wanted to fix the bed, or I wanted to extend the closet space. The little lady just went shopping. Just kidding. Just kidding. Whatever it is, ask yourself, what do I need to start? What's been started and needs to be completed? Ask yourself those questions. What do I need here? Something to begin. What's something I started but haven't finished? What's something that needs to be completed? What's something that needs to be discarded? Go through all your clothes. Now, by the way, if you're looking for more money in your life, this is a really good way to do it. They have found through studies that people who clean their homes, it's not that you're going to find money because you're that disorganized. Hey, I just found $1,000. It was in this roll of toilet paper behind the bed. No, we're not talking about that. It frees up a lot of the mind energy that you've been using to think about these things. And a lot of it is on a subconscious level, on an unconscious level also, which we'll talk more about that in future shows in January and February next year. So go around to each room and ask yourself, hey, what do I need to fix here? Is there something that needs to be fixed? Is there something that needs to be completed? Is there something that I wanted to start but I haven't started? And you make a list of everything in your home. Do you need to go through the closet, give a lot of stuff to Goodwill or whatever, or to the neighbors or whoever? Do you need to have a garage sale? Is your garage so crazy that you can't find your car? You know it's in there, but you can't find it. All right? Maybe it's time to go through the garage. Go through every room in your house, the bathroom, the kitchen room, the living room, every room, bedrooms, underneath the sink, in the closets, in the cabinets, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in the bedroom. Go through everything before the new year. Now, if you're listening to this in January, you can do it in January, February, or March. It doesn't matter. You can do it monthly or you can do it yearly. It doesn't matter. But I like to do a big one every year. I do a big one. And then usually, every month we do a small one. Then every 6 months we do a kind of a semi-big one. that will free up so much of your time and energy that gets used. You say you're disorganized. A lot of times it's not about being disorganized. It's about saying no to the things. It's about throwing out the things that are taking your space, your mind energy, and your time energy. And being organized is also about saying no to the things that are taking your time and your energy. Right? Now, if you're one of those guys out there that says, well, Dermot, the evil clutter fairy, she whispers in my ear every night. You're going to need that in 2 weeks. Don't throw that away. Throw it away. The rule of my house is, if I have not used that in 1 year, if I've not put that piece of clothing on in a year, it goes. If I haven't used that speaker or whatever it is in 6 months, it goes. If there's books on my shelf that I just know I'm never going to read, they're sitting there and I look at them and I think I should read that. I really should read that. That is a lot of energy that you are using. Oh, and by the way, closing your eyes doesn't make the clutter go away. I've tried. I've even visualized the clutter going out of my house. Doesn't work. You have to take action. Oh, yes, you've got to take action. There's no other way around it. I wish there was, ladies and gentlemen. So let's recap a little bit. Let's just take a few minutes to hear that at the end of our show. And let's just recap a few things that we talked about in the show. So make time to plan. Not about judgment. Not about bashing yourself over the head with the hammer because you're disorganized. Let go of that. That's just a story. That's just a thought. It's rubbish. It's fake news. And sometimes you don't need a plan. Sometimes you just need to slow down to the pace of life. Sometimes you just need to take a breath and let go of the Darth Vader grip, the debt grip, and see what shows up in your life. Ask yourself those 4 planning questions. What do I want? Why do I want it? How would I know I've gotten it? And where do I want to begin? What's one action step to begin? Take some time, everyone, to go through your house and declutter. Take the stuff that's taking your time, your space, your energy, your visual sight, and get rid of it. Donate it, delete it, burn it, throw it out. Give it to the friends. I don't care what you do. Get rid of the stuff that's taking up your space in your house and the space in your brain. You will be fascinated. Now, if you need to be a bit more organized, then go out and buy yourself some type of an organizer, a planner. Right? Like I said, that little review that I do every week, I take out my planner. So get yourself a Google Calendar or schedule planner. I used to have it on just a regular calendar. You can write it all in. What do I need to do this week? What really needs to get done this week? Take it out of your head. Anytime you have a thought about something, take it out of your head and write it on your planner. Get yourself a big whiteboard, and on the whiteboard write calls, emails, to do, and whatever else, ideas, research, or whatever it might be. Your to-do is the stuff that you need to do around your house. It's the stuff that you physically need to do. Emails, calls, whatever else it might be. And just as they come to you, write them on your whiteboard. And then on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, sit down, look at everything on your whiteboard, and then put it on your calendar. Say, on Monday I'm going to do this, on Tuesday I'm going to do that. And when you go through your house, when you do those energy leaks, and you write everything down, get a list of all the things that you need to get done. And then carve out half a day. If you think to yourself, it's going to take, you and your husband, or you and your boyfriend, whoever it might be, it's going to take you half a day to do all this stuff. Carve out a half a day and just get it all done in half a day. Now, if you need to schedule it over the course of a week, that's totally fine too. But what I've found in my coaching with men, the most powerful, the biggest impact was when they took half a day and they completely did everything. They felt so free going into the new year. So you do it on a micro level, these energy leaks, where you sit and you review your week that's gone, and anything that's not completed, you put it on the calendar for next week. You do an energy leak on a macro level once a year. You go through the house, you and your little lady, or whoever you're living with, go through the house with the kids, yourself, the husband, the wife, the cat, the dog. You all go through the house and you agree upon together. That's important. You agree upon together all the stuff that you're going to delete, discard, donate, get rid of. Fix. If there's stuff that needs fixing, you fix it. If there's stuff that's broken and you don't know whether to get rid of it, get rid of it. If there's clothes that have been hanging around that are just taking up space in the wardrobe, get rid of them. You'll be doing yourself a favor, and you'll be doing other people a favor by donating them. You will be fascinated at how much energy in your head and space in your home and in your head will come out of just doing that exercise. I know, as you all know, everyone, that this is a busy world. There's so much going on. There's so much that people are asking of our attention. There's so much demand made on our time. We've got to be willing to start to make time to plan. Because if you don't plan your life will plan it for you. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it's not. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the show here. If you want to hear more, if you want to check out, you get a free copy of the show today. You can go to thecelticcoach.com, the THE, Celtic, CELTIC, thecelticcoach.com, and if you put your email on the main page there, we'll put you on the news list, and I send out a copy of the show every week. I send out a newsletter with a question for the week, and it also has a copy of this show and information on the upcoming show. We're going to be bringing you a lot of wonderful stuff in January starting. We're going to be looking more at the science, spirituality, and self-development, where they all meet, where they come together. So great stuff coming up in the new year, the Celtic Coach Radio Show. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the show. I know I have. It's a privilege and an honor for me to be able to do this, so I really appreciate that. If you want to find out more about coaching, same deal. Go to my website, and there's lots of stuff on there. You can contact me via that, or email me at thecelticcoach@gmail.com. Until the next time, everyone, think big, have fun, and stay curious. I'm the Celtic Coach, and that, my dear listeners, is no Blarney.